Welcome to the Winning Balance podcast. We are met with my good friend Curtis Marshall.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tanner.
Thanks for jumping on, dude. I seriously Curtis is one of my favorite people, whether he knows that or not. Curtis, I look up to Curtis in a lot of ways. You have grown a business, Dental Intelligence. You were the co-founder. We're going to dive into that story too. I'm going to read the bio. But more of the reason I have Curtis on here is you are a family man through and through, and that's shown in every conversation that I've had with you. And the other thing to know about Curtis is every room you go to when there is multiple people, everyone knows Curtis. I don't know how.
In Utah County.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's wild. And everyone loves Curtis.
I grew up here, but thanks, Tanner.
No, of course. You're like the most popular Utah County guy. We'll just be in like these, there'll be a speaker that's talking to Watt, Jimmy Rex's group, and then they'll just give a shout out to Curtis every time.
Wow,
so
good people.
Yep. And that's how I met Curtis, is Jimmy Rex's program, Watt. If you don't know about it, check it out. It's changed my life. It's amazing.
It's impressive.
So anyway, so I'm going to read this bio about Curtis, and then we're going to dive into his story and get to know him more. Curtis brings over 20 years of experience in marketing and communication, along with 15 years in dental practice management, coaching, and operations. He's a co-founder of Dental Intelligence and is based in Pleasant Grove, Utah, where he helps dental professionals across the country turn complex data into clear, actionable decisions. Curtis is known for blending high-picture strategy with real-world execution. He's worked closely with dentists and leadership teams to improve performance, streamline operations, and build practices that grow sustainably without losing sight of patient care. At Dental Intelligence, Curtis plays a key role in shaping product strategy and helping practices truly understand what their numbers are telling them. What sets Curtis apart is his practical, no-nonsense approach. He's deeply passionate about empowering dental teams to work smarter, lead with confidence, and create practices that support both profitability and long-term success. Stud.
Yeah, kind of cool stuff, huh?
Yeah. You're also like, let's go. You're also like one of the biggest BYU fans I know.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's the in-town game, right? I mean, we don't have any other sports. We don't have any other things to do here in Utah County.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually went to the U. But
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, BYU wouldn't let me in. Utah lets everybody in. So went up there, got my degree up there, and but been BYU, got season ticket holder for football and basketball. Absolutely love it. It's a lot of fun.
It's an exciting year.
It's been good.
I would never say I'm a BYU fan. I'm less college, more professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
All of my Seattle teams, the Seahawks, Mariners, etc. RIP Sonics. But I feel like this year is like converting me to BYU.
Let's go.
You can call me a bandwagon, but like
That's all right.
I'm converting. So
Well, they're changing stuff with seating, so you can maybe get some season ticket holders, season tickets this year.
really,
Yeah, they've changed, made less actually, student section less, and they've moved quite a few things around. But
I looked at tickets for like Arizona. When I get back in town, I wanted to go see AJ in the squad, and the get-in price is like $500 for BYU. I was like, that's insane.
I got you 2 tickets. Yeah, if you want to go, I got you.
You
Actually, I won't be in town, so I don't know what to do with them.
Are you
They're yours.
serious?
Yeah.
Dude, you don't need to do all that.
Oh yeah, no worries.
You're the freaking man, dude. Well, Curtis, a couple of things that I would love to get from today's podcast.
Okay.
I want to hear your story, Dental Intelligence, how you got into that. But my favorite part is sprinkling in the stories of family and how you juggled the two, right? At this phase in my life, family is obviously extremely important to me. And I look up to people that have built success in business, but also kept family a priority. So those are the two things. I want to hear Curtis' story of business and that growth that came with that, but also how you kept family a priority.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Let's get it.
All right. Well, thanks again for having me.
Of course, dude.
So that's a good question. So as far as like how it all started with Dental Intelligence is I used to work in a dental office. And in the dental office, I was taking care of the marketing aspect, getting new patients in, and absolutely just crushed it. Did a great job with it. But realized there's a huge disconnect between the marketing efforts and the patients who actually came in. Like, we just oftentimes, at least the dentist before and many other dentists, would just throw money at something like, I hope that works, right? And what I was able to do there was I was able to track and say, oh, we're spending the money in these areas, which one's working and not working, with a lot of Excel sheets, and decided stop doing X, start doing more whatever. One example was at a Groupon. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
It's
Groupon.
older, right? Groupon's older. And we put money on Groupon and, got a lot of new patients. So if you were to look at just new patients, it was like, oh man, that's awesome. But it wasn't awesome. They came in, bought their whitening, and never returned.
Mm.
What you want with the new patients is somebody that comes into the office for their cleanings and keep coming and become your dentist or their dentist, right? Anyway, so built that and realized there's a huge disconnect, and every dental office needs to have a way to grab this data from their marketing and their data from their practice management software is where that's at, combine it together, tell them what to do. So I bought the domain Dental Intel. Just like, well, we need to create something like this, right? And I was talking to a friend of mine named Jerem Dastrup, if you know him. He is a stud. He introduced me to this CPA firm that was working with dental offices. I interviewed with them, got hired right away, but I said, listen, I'll do your marketing for a CPA firm, but I got this ace in my back pocket. I have this dentalintel.com, and here's what I want to do with this. I want to grab all the data, merge the marketing and everything together. Started going well, but what we found and realized was as we switched from doing CPA work to this software, what we realized was
The whole company shifted because you had this idea.
There were the CPA firm kind of broke into two. They kept doing CPA work, but then two people from it, Weston Lunsford and Rob Bay, broke off, and we created this dental intelligence. And it was up and down. It was hairy. At one point, we were selling our product even though it wasn't even created yet. We were having paying customers paying us even though we didn't have our solution. We asked them for reports, and then we'd manually do stuff and give them advice on it, right? So it's been a long road.
How old were you when that happened?
Let's see. I would have been 30-ish, right about 30.
And was the wife on board?
Oh, that's a great question. So at this time, when I took that job, I actually decreased in pay because knowing, hey, we're going to do something different. And it was difficult because we weren't able to do all the things that we wanted to necessarily do, and money was tight. She actually started getting a job babysitting her sister's kids. It was difficult, and but she grew up in a family that supported the husband and really respect my mother-in-law. In fact, she's like my mom. Absolutely love her.
Really?
Yeah. Have a great relationship with her. But my wife was always supportive, even like to the tune of, hey, whatever you need to do, I'm on board. Was never oh, hey, you have to do this or anything like that. Understood that if I'm at work, I got to work. I'll answer if I can, but if I don't answer, it's because I'm working.
Yeah.
And which meant that, you can't go out golfing, and say, oh, hey, I'm out golfing working. No, there's that balance as well. Right. And one thing that I've kind of learned, because even at Dental Intelligence, we had this core principle called work-life balance. I don't like it. I actually really despise that concept because it's not a balance. You're not trying to balance both.
Yeah.
I like to call it more of a work-life relationship. For example, me and my wife, right? We're in a relationship. I don't get, it's not fair. It's not a balance of what I say and what she says goes, or my thoughts versus her thoughts. It's not fair. It's not balanced. It's a relationship. It's a give and take of, hey, I'm going to give a little and take a little, and we're going to, maybe we don't do either one of those. But I think a work life, meaning like with family and friends and all that, it's not a balance. It's a work life relationship that is constantly changing and constantly improving. It's not stagnant at all. So that helps.
I like that a lot too, because one thing that I've learned on this podcast is, like, I named this the winning balance, understanding that my goal was to treat my family as serious as I do my business. And what I've learned from different like experts like you, and I'm allowed to call you an expert, it's never going to be perfectly balanced. Like, it's not like this scale of business and family. And what I've come to learn from a lot of the guests is that there's going to be times of extreme balance on both ends, right? Like work in one season might take all precedence, and
100%.
family, you might go on a vacation and put your phone aside. And so learn from people like you.
I like the concept of balance. Like, hey, I'm balancing both of them. But when people think of balance, well, at least here's what happened. This is why I despise it. Is because people at the office, when they thought balance, it's like, oh, hey, that means that when I'm at work, I can do family stuff. But when I'm with family, I can't do work stuff at all. Well, where's the balance on that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's not a balance. That's having your cake and eating it too.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a give and take relationship. And so, but to your point, I really do like understanding the fact that, hey, we got different seasons and figuring that out.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to dive more too into like Dental Intelligence story. You almost like partnered with this CPA firm in a way. You had this idea you brought to them and you guys kind of built that up. You said it wasn't easy, right? So tell me more about those L's and pushing through that, because that's, a lot of people don't realize the depths that you have to go through for entrepreneurship. Like,
yeah,
I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, I was blessed to have some guys who were really powerful. It actually, the product would never have gone off if it wasn't for Weston Lunsford. There's no way. He was the driver. He was everything on it. But one thing that I realized that was kind of interesting, this whole concept of why I got the site was to merge marketing data and PMS data, right? Or practice management data. We actually ditched that. And we said, there's actually a lower hanging, more needed opportunity in dental offices. And that is within their practice management software, they don't even know what's going on in there. So if we gather all that data, clean it up, and present them with a crystal ball saying, hey, do this today with just what you have, we're going to be able to get a lot of other, a lower hanging fruit of offices. And that's how we started. So the first thing was kind of pushing away what I wanted to do and doing what the industry or the clients wanted. That's one thing I think with entrepreneurship that is something to learn, that, hey, even though you got this grandiose idea, well, what are they going to buy? What's the office or client truly needing?
Yeah. That pivot, right? Like you could come when you least expect it. And that's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
I feel like real estate, that happened to me when I thought I was this awesome real estate investor during COVID. And the truth was, everyone could make money during COVID in real estate because everything was going up 20% and it was an insane time. And then rates doubled in April of 2022. And I was no longer, I failed miserably. And it was an identity check. It was like all of my pride thinking had it figured out. And then I had to completely shift into what I do now with seller financing with a lot of L's in between, right? But I think that is an important thing to note in entrepreneurship is your plan A is rarely
Well,
Gonna
that
be
was my
some-
plan,
Yeah.
right? Hey, this is what Curtis came up with. And if I would have stuck to those guns, we wouldn't be the company that we are today. We really wouldn't have been. And so I think that's something,
Yeah.
to your point, of changing. It's really, it's an important part.
Yeah. 100%. Well, tell me too, as kid, when did you have your first kid?
Let's see. I was 28.
28.
Yeah.
So you had young kids at
Yeah.
the start of Dental Intelligence.
Oh yeah, they were babies. And because we had them, boom, boom, boom. 3 girls actually all in
Yeah.
a row, and absolutely love them. And yeah, so it was, and it was something else because right then too, I'm changing. No, when I first had the kids, I was still in the dental office. So it was a couple more years until we made a switch, but we still had super small kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until like that's as life feels chaotic in business and work. Well, like what advice do you have for people that are trying to be intentional about those relationships with their young kids, right? Like for me, I think like there's seasons where my brain is so clouded with work and it's really hard for me to shut that off when I get home. And I'm sure when you're building a startup, there's a lot of cloudedness in your head, right? Like how do you set intention with those kids?
It's a good question and something that pops to my thought right away on that. And that is when social media first started, people were just posting everything,
Mhm.
right? And then there was this really big wave of like 5 pillars. Hey, pick 5 areas that you say that you are of, and only post on those things. So if you post on, if all of your pillars are family, business, vacations, don't post and be a foodie. If
Yeah.
that's not right, don't post about that because you want to get your audience growing as far as like, and you can post whatever, but if you're wanting to grow grow your
Exactly.
audience, right? So in answer to your question, as far as how to do that, what I did was I had my things that I did and I did them great, right? I wasn't the one that took them to school. I wasn't the one that made sure when they got home from school that they were taken care of and felt comfortable. I tucked them in every night. I read them a story every night. We read prayers together. Said prayers together, right? Those were the things that I was like, oh, and then I did daddy-daughter dates
Mm-hmm.
where I took them out. I've been slacking on that lately, but when they were younger, that was really important for us. Kind of to take away from my wife a little bit, let her have her own time.
Yeah.
But I found what those pillars, if you will, were for me and my relationship with my kids, and I stuck to them. Now, obviously, I did other stuff, right? I would pick them up from school every once in a while or whatnot, but I stuck to those pillars. So, and it doesn't matter what they are.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
could be anything. It's not, oh, everybody's got to do the same pillars as me. No, pick your pillars and stick to them, be consistent, because that's what those kids remember. And I tucked my kids all the way up until they're still 16. When they're 16, I'm still tucking them in. They're loving it. Like, hey, I can't go to bed till I get tucked in. You're 16, right? Because of those pillars, though.
I love it.
I think that
And
helps.
I mean, I've been around you and your daughters a few times, and it's very apparent their respect they have for you, which I look up to that a lot. I'd love to hear your advice too on parenting in a sense of you have 3 daughters, and I'm sure their personalities are all different, right? And it's not a one size fits all. When I think like business, my brain sometimes is in SOPs and written procedures, and I'm very logical. And I know that parenting is going to be a whole lot different than that, right? I only have one kid now, but it's gonna change. So, what's your advice on that with the different personalities and how you go about parenting?
It's good. It's a hard thing to do, right? I mean, yeah, I remember even taking my oldest, Ocean. We put her in her car seat with the hospital, and I'm putting her in the car. Like, I was really like, you're letting me take this human from this hospital? Like, what if I break it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not necessarily those words, but that feeling,
Yeah.
you know? And so, yeah, there's not a thing. But I think there's two big things that I would recommend to any parent out there. First off is realizing that you treat them the way they are in that season. So a baby, you're going to goo goo gaga with them, right? You're going to do certain things with them that are different than when they're what's the next phase? Just like primary, right? And then once they're in grade school and once they're in junior high and high school and now even college, you need to realize to treat them the way they are in their season and not, oh, you're my daughter, so I'm going to treat you the same way that I treat my daughter always, which is when you were a little baby and that's how I treat you, right? But hey, no, you're in a different season. I'm going to talk to you differently. We're going to have a different relationship. And I'll tell you what, Carrie and me, my wife and I, myself, we have loved every phase better and better and better. Like, we actually don't like the baby phase, 0 to 18 months. It's like, what? You're just holding a crying thing that's pooping all the time, right? There's no reward. But as soon as they're 18, every phase above that, we just learn to love more and more because we're adapting and changing and not saying, oh, I'm such a good parent on a 5-year-old, and so I'm going to keep treating you like a 5-year-old. Well,
Yeah.
You don't say that in your mind, but often people treat their kids as if they're still younger because that's what they know they're good at. Does that make sense?
For sure. Yeah.
That's the first.
Sense.
Any extra thoughts there?
I mean, my first thought on that before you get into the second, which I think we've talked about this in the past, is how do you get your kid to respect you in those like pre-puberty up to teenage years, right? Like I feel like you claim that you like each stage more and more, and I can tell that your relationship with your kids that are all in those teenager and younger phases, like you have an amazing relationship with them. But I know in my teenage years, and I know a lot of parents with teenage kids, my parents are like, I don't know, they're more rude to them, sassy. Maybe they don't want to be friends with their parents. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Am I gonna be confused?
I think that's a two-way relationship.
Yeah.
Right. In addition, I think that any two people could be married to each other. Right? They could, but it's two ways. It's not one way, and you have to adapt and adjust. But with the sense of with kids like that, here's the best example I would give: is I had my first, where I'm like, oh, I know how to take care of babies and 18-month-olds and whatnot. I got this down, and so I did the exact same things with my second. And they didn't work because the person is different. Even though they're babies and they're that age, there's differences and the same things don't work for one as they do for the other. So learning that quickly, that not only do I have to adjust to the season, but also to the individual while raising, right? So the things that worked great that you and your parents had is not going to work great for the same way that, now there might be some things, obviously, right? But your daughter's not going to need the same things as she grows up. So I don't know if there's not an SOP. We're wanting a clear answer,
Yeah.
right? But it's being willing to adapt and to change and realize that you are wrong, and that your kids know that you're trying hard, and especially this new age of kids, they're so smart that if they know that you're willing to change, but you also have a firm hand, and I don't like that word, but you're also steady, and you're like, hey, this is, I'm heading in this direction, letting them know you're heading in a certain direction, and they see that, they'll respect that, and then also adjust to them. So seasons and individuals, I think you gotta. But it's difficult, right?
Yeah, I mean,
super difficult.
I can only imagine. I'm at the beginning phases, so
you're gonna be a good dad. You already are.
Did you go into your second part yet, or was that the second?
Second part is I went through a training called Griffin Hill, Have you heard of Griffin Hill?
Mm-mm.
It's a sales, human performance, really.
I feel like I've seen the word. I feel like I've seen it. So
It's
I've.
local. It's awesome. Darren Baird is who taught me, and man, that guy is just brilliant. So if you find anything on YouTube or anything about Darren Baird and Griffin Hill, amazing stuff. But it basically teaches you what human behavior is, the sequence of human behavior, and how sales relates to that. And I incorporate it into my family life of this human behavior and helping my wife and my kids. And so the second part that I would say is really, and the whole thing of it is restating exactly what you want, right? And then find out more information, ask more questions, reframe, find out more questions, refine, and then come up with a solution and hold them accountable with a certain day and time, right? Because all human beings, we're all performed to a deadline, right? That's one thing that they teach you on that. And for like myself, if you tell me, hey, the deadline is, hey, you got to be here today at a certain time, I'm going to be here just right before, right? My daughter, though, she's going to be here like 30 minutes before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the outcome's different, but the date and time, a deadline is what we all live to. Oh, and then my other daughter, you tell her a certain time and she's going to be a few minutes late, right? So but she wouldn't have showed up a few minutes late if she didn't have a deadline. So, in understanding all of that, sales and human performance, understanding human performance, I think while raising kids is good to know because we're all that they're not doing certain, like a teenager that acts up isn't acting up because they want to act up. It's because of human behavior. Something's going on in their life. And most likely it's the parents, oftentimes, right? Something's going on that needs to get adjusted. So if we understand how human performance works, we can adjust it to at least grow together in some way. So those would be that'd be the second thing that I would say is understanding that human performance sales aspect of getting what you want, or at least understanding what the other person wants, so that way you can both grow.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. And that's like, I feel like a good transition back to like the business world of You've been in dental intelligence for how many years now?
The whole time. It's probably been 16, 17 years.
16, 17 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time for like leadership and how much you've seen it grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those lessons that you just shared about with your kids, I'm sure you learned a lot from being a leader at dental intelligence too, right? Like, what advice do you have for leading people in general, aside from the kids, maybe more employee based?
I think it's both, but I'll switch a little bit more to employee based. Simply this: be grateful for them. Be grateful. Know that everyone's trying their hardest. That is key, is being grateful even for the smallest things, because there were times when I thought an employee was just like, you are trying to scam the company, right? And that kind of happens in some cases, but not most of the time. It's basically because they don't understand what to do, or they're scared of failing, so they're not even touching it. So being grateful for what it is, and then figuring out a little bit more. But I would say the biggest part for leadership is being grateful, saying hi to individuals, letting them know that you're not just walking by and seeing the same face every day, right? But truly connecting with people. But it's not that you need to know everything about them on like where they grew up and how, what they eat for breakfast and lunch and dinner and what all their aspirations are. No, it's just being grateful for who they are. And that helps not only them, it actually helps you as a leader be a stronger leader.
I like it.
Yeah.
And just to like play devil's advocate or something that I'm curious about.
Yeah.
When there's like a bad egg, they say like fire fast and hire whatever the saying is, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you take that mentality when there is a bad egg, right? Like, I think you're naturally an optimistic person, and I feel like I am too, but that scares me when there is a bad egg, especially like the people pleaser in me too. It's like, how do you go about that in a way? I don't want to break this person's heart, but I want my company to grow. I want to provide for all the other people that depend on me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think that kind of goes back to the whole sales aspect, but there's another good friend of mine named John Meese. He's he used to be a well, maybe he still is a dentist. He coaches dentists.
Mm.
Super successful, lives down in Arizona. Amazing man. But he once told me, you need to change people or change people. Like, oh, dang. That's okay. Meaning you need to change them out and get somebody else or change them. To change them is a lot more difficult.
Mm.
But that is what a leader does. And a leader will change anyone. I mean, boy, we go to the most extreme leader, Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, he changes people. He changed and changes people. But it's a lot more difficult, right? Or you could say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that, and I'm going to change you with somebody else. Either one is fine, but there's consequences and benefits to both of them. And for us both being kind of people pleasers and optimistic, it is sometimes we do go a little further and allow somebody to fail more, and then but we've already given up sometimes, and then we just totally give up, but both scenarios are on us. I think it's really important, though, to realize the fact that you need to change people or change people, and neither decision is wrong, but knowing that something will need to happen, making sure that they understand that too.
Yeah. And maybe more on like the tactical side of that, like what advice do you have to motivate someone? Like if they are maybe not performing, in my head, back to like the people pleasers, like maybe they're going through a hard time, or maybe like, I don't know. I'm always justifying good and bad behavior, but what tactical advice do you have for someone as a leader to help get them out of a rut?
Well, even if you had a bad situation of, hey, let's throw a worst case scenario. My husband died or a wife died, right? Or a kid died. That you still need to work, right? So understanding of the situation is good, but the biggest advice is understanding that anybody at any point can be improving. And but the thing is to not say, oh, I think that they're going through this, or I think that it's hard for them because of this reason, but have a conversation with them. There's all of us humans, before any action happens, right? There's first a thought. That thought, or no, I'm sorry, there's actually first a circumstance. There's something that's happening. Like the circumstances right now, we're talking into the microphone, sitting with a pink light, that keeps distracting me every once in a while. And wonderful Kobe Bryant right behind you, who's an amazing man. Fortunately, I think, the pharmacy people got him, but that's a whole nother conspiracy. So there's the situation, and whether it's work or whatever, then from that situation comes your thoughts. That thought creates a feeling, and from that feeling, you do an action. So if you have somebody who's not acting, you work that back. Well, what's happening in this certain circumstance? Maybe somebody died, or maybe they come into the office and they're like, you know what? I like to scroll through all my emails, right? That's what happens. Well, what happens next? Your thought. Oh, well, I'm not thinking about work, or I'm thinking about my next trip, right? And now I have a feeling, I get all excited to start working on my trip rather than working. And so I don't work, and I work on planning for my next trip, or playing a video game, or whatever it might be, right? But understand that human performance, that your situation that you're in creates your thoughts, and your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings create an action. So when you're working with people and you're seeing a different result, you have to back it up all the way and understand what is your circumstance. Because even though we're in this same room, we're sitting on similar chairs, we got a mic in front of us. Is the light distracting to you?
Not as bad as it is you.
No. Are you looking at Kobe Bryant every once in a while?
Nope.
No, you're not, right? So even though we're in the exact same room, right, the circumstances could be very different from me to you. And you can't assume, oh, what I'm observing in this circumstance is the same thing that he or she's observing. No. So understanding that process of somebody, if you want to change the outcome, understand their circumstance. Then you have to understand their thoughts and then their feelings. And that's what creates action. So a lot of people just go to, oh, you know what? You need to put a picture of money or a trip or something that you want to get.
Or a yacht or
right. And that's going to help you.
Yeah.
No, and because that's off of the feelings. Oh, I feel like excited, right? You're missing the circumstance and the thought to get to that feeling. So it doesn't work the same.
Where did you learn that?
That part, I actually learned that from, a lot of that's very similar to Griffin Hill.
Okay.
But my wife is a life coach.
Really?
And she taught me all that stuff. It's super powerful.
That is powerful, especially for my brain, like thinking where logic and analytical is harder to solve these things in my head, but that spells it out where it makes sense in my language. So I love it. I'm going to note that and try and use it. But Curtis, what's the next 5-10 years for dental intelligence and for Curtis in general? Like what's your best case scenario in all of it?
Oh. Well, best case scenario is that we move into, I would love to see us go worldwide, and because right now we're only in the United States, and then eventually other markets like optometry and vets would be mine. But we have a whole team that's kind of helping understand that. The thing that I'm really trying to do is to ensure that we keep our clients and get new ones. Right now I'm on the product side, so I'm really heavy on that. But in the next 5 years for dental intelligence, love to see us go worldwide and multiple verticals. That would be optimal.
I love it.
Yeah.
How has AI influenced what you do? Because if you're working with data and such, like I feel like it would have some influence, right? Mm-hmm. How are you guys integrating AI these days?
We're integrated the same way a lot of other companies are, and that's through chat. You know, of saying, hey, give me a list of all patients who are over the or that need to come into the office. And so from all of our filters, it says, oh, based off of that information, here you go. Well, no, I want to see all the patients that need treatment. What about that? And right, so we're able to do those type of things. Or, hey, based off of the last couple months, where am I doing good and where am I not doing so well? Right? We're able to do those things. But one thing with AI is it's so powerful yet, and like you could even take our data, copy it, put it into chat yourself, and get the same results pretty much, right? Is honing it in and really making it work for a certain task. And we're still struggling on that right now. The next thing though that we're working on that I'm really excited about is we're going to be looking at all their phone calls that come in and tell them this is why they're not rescheduling, because you don't have enough room, you don't take this insurance, but just giving them a synopsis. Hey, not read through each one, but from your phone calls that come into the office with new patients, this is why they're not scheduling. Go change that. And then the next step is actually having an agent answer calls and make calls out. That's because we kind of honed it in, and that's I think where we'll be helping the dental offices with AI. But AI is a tricky beast. That's for sure.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
I feel like we're just at the tip of the iceberg, and I'm nervous for my kids and what's going to happen, but that's a whole nother topic in and of
My
itself.
parents
But
were nervous about the .com though with
that's
us,
true.
right? It's just the only reason why you're nervous is because of the unknown.
Yeah.
But we'll adapt, and we're going to be, we're going to be really powerful. If you would have told people in the Ford plant, right, before the assembly line that, hey, your job's not needed. We're going to just need somebody who knows how to do tires, and that's it. Put a tire on, and that's all, or just how to put a chair in. What?
That's insane.
No, that's scary. We cannot go that direction. Well, it's actually a good thing. So.
Yeah.
AI
100%.
is going to be good.
Yeah. Another thought that comes to my head, Curtis, of hearing your story with dental intelligence, you've been there 16, 17 years. You probably wouldn't be in your shoes if you weren't some version of a go-getter, right? And I am a self-proclaimed go-getter. Like I'm always trying new things, right? The ADD and trying to make something of myself. But being somewhere for 17 years, to me, like, I don't know if it's my ADD or what, but I feel like I would get bored. What do you do to keep motivated or not bored per se? Are you a fan of side gigs, or are you narrow focused on dental intelligence? How do you entertain yourself? Like, that's the general consensus of it.
I'm actually very similar. And I've been lucky at dental intelligence because I've done multiple things. I was head over marketing at the very beginning, right? Then I was customer service, taking care of 500 clients, calling them on a quarterly basis. From that, then I started working with partners, and then I was the VP of the partner program, and then now I'm in product management, right? So if you really look at it, let's divide it 15, let's just say 15 to make numbers easy, by 5. That's really only 3 years for one, right? So I don't think I'd still be around if I was only doing marketing.
Yeah,
dental intelligence, the very first one, right? So that's helped. But I am a huge fan of, number one, working with people that you like working with. Having a friend at work.
Yeah.
And I can't work alone. Before this dental intelligence, I tried to start a consulting company on my own. I'm not motivated enough. I am not. I know a lot of people are. I'm not. I need somebody else, but then also somebody that you want to work with. Okay. But the second thing is that for that whole balance or the whole relationship, the work-life relationship, I like to be good at one thing and not shallow in many. And for me, in order for me to be good at one thing, I need to focus on that one thing. And so for work stuff, I mean, I'll do some investments and lose a lot of money and make some in other areas. But for me, I don't like side hustles as much because you're going to disappoint whoever you're side hustling with and or your main job. For Curtis Marshall. Yeah. I don't like that. But I know a lot of people are good at it. I'm not as good.
Yeah, no, I love what you said. It's, what do they say? The jack of all trades or master of none, or however, just shallowing out all your energy, your capital, your mind space. You talked about investments. Like where does that look like for Curtis these days?
Well, I just invested in some gold stuff that was kind of exciting. Nanotizing gold, if you've ever heard of anything like that.
We talked about this briefly at one point I think, but I love for the audience.
That was something a little bit different.
Oh, different? Okay.
Yeah. So I get sold. As a good salesman get sold, right? And so I get sold on some things. And in fact, I was just talking to a friend of mine that we invested quite a bit into some NFTs. And we all know what's happening with this, right? But right now with investment, one thing that everyone's saying and that I truly believe in as well is sticking to the stock market, right? The S&P, that really is consistent and just can be consistent on adding more to that. There's also others, but the biggest thing that I've learned is not falling for a story, but doing something you believe in, and not because of the story. Like
Mm.
a good friend of mine, Kirk Schilling, back all the way in college, he said, when I invest in something, it's something that I like. Like he was a skater and a surfer, and so he loved Volcom out like apparel. Right? He'd wear, all of his friends would wear it, so he put a ton of money into the stocks for Volcom. Volcom, however you say it. And so he made a lot of money with that, right? Right now he wouldn't do that because the people and him are not doing it. And just so happens that the stock is going down at the same time. So something that you believe in, but not get overhyped over just a story. Like, oh, somebody told you the story. Oh, I can believe that story.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like, do you truly, like, is that you? Are you an expert in that? Not necessarily, but do you use that product? Another good one that I truly believe in is a Tesla, right? So investing in Tesla, then that's kind of went down a little bit, but it's on its way back up, and with the robots, that could be a whole nother.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
but that with investing, that's the biggest thing that I would say is either stick to what's known to be good, like S&P, or what you know,
Yeah.
you love, but don't fall for stories. I've fallen for way too many stories and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars with stories.
I can share that same sentiment with you.
Yeah, don't fall
The
for
Amazon stores.
Yeah. It sounds so good, though.
Yeah,
It sounds so
exactly.
good. I'm going to make this much money and don't have to work at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
You talked about, what is the word? Nanotizing gold?
Nanotizing gold. Yeah, it's kind of a story. But yeah, so basically you buy gold, send it to somebody who can Geneva Steel.
Uh-huh.
Remember Geneva Steel?
Yeah.
Geneva Steel, what they would do is they would take all this raw steel, melt it, roll it out, melt it, roll it out, get it hot, roll it out, create these rolls of usable steel and sell that to other people.
Mm.
That's what they were doing, right? They were took raw stuff, made it so that someone else, and then here's a form, sheet metal, that you can do whatever you want with. You can make a house, you can make a bridge, you can make whatever you want from the sheet, right? Well, gold the same way. Gold needs somebody to take the raw gold and make it small enough in what I like to say, like make it in little sheets,
Mm-hmm.
right? But in order for them to nanotize it, somebody has to buy the gold. So we're giving it a try. We'll see what happens. I'll come back on and let you know if it's working.
Yeah, let me know, because I mean, gold and silver right now are going crazy.
Oh, silver too. By the way, silver's still way too low. It should be at a certain, I forget the exact percentage from gold to silver it should be, and it's way undervalued.
Really?
Silver's a really good one to buy right now.
So it's not too late.
Still not, even though it just went up like what, last week? I think
Yeah.
went up quite a bit. Still good. It's still not in the range where it should be.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I love these topics on investing, like now, especially all the crap I've been through in the investment world, just in my 8 years of trying to do it, of the best economy America's ever seen, probably for like 5 years of it.
Yeah.
And then now just so much uncertainty. I feel like for the past 3 years, and I buy real estate because that's what my conviction holds, and for tax purposes. And, but outside of that, the last 3 years, I've been trying to diversify. I don't want to be naive, even though real estate's my thing. I don't want to like throw all my eggs. So I've been diversifying, throwing a lot in S&P 500, and different little things. I'm in Bitcoin and XRP. That's about the extent, not a lot of my portfolio, but it's intriguing. And I've talked with a lot of smart people like you, Curtis, of like, where are you putting your money these days? And it's not as easy as it has been historically. There's not like a one size fits all for where your money goes.
Mm-mm. I like what you said. Like you doing what you know, like investing in real estate. That's what you know. My father-in-law was a dentist,
Mm-hmm.
and he did some other investments, but he put all of his money into building his business of dentistry, buying buildings for dentistry. So now he's got, right. It's in that same realm.
Yeah.
So he's diversifying, but he's in the same realm. And then stocks, obviously, but not much else besides that.
Yeah.
And now he's super, I mean, it's not that he's in his 60s and living the life, living in Hawaii, living wherever he wants, doing whatever he wants. And it was because, though, he was investing learned at an early age, don't buy diamonds from somebody that says that they're super cheap and you can resell them.
Yeah.
Right? Don't do these things that dentists or whoever fall into.
Yeah.
Instead, invest in what you know. You can diversify a little bit within what you know, and then what's proven, and that is the stock market.
Yeah.
It's proven. So I think that's some good advice for anyone.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm trying to take that a step further, like not being naive. Like even real estate's my thing, but I love your example of, you said your father-in-law, which he's doing different things in his industry. Like now I feel like residential is like, there's obviously a huge affordability crisis, and it's, like, who knows what's going to happen in the next 10 years with that. But
you're an expert in the real estate field.
Yeah, I try to be.
And that's just a subset of it. You're not now going into
AI
technology or customer service solutions, right?
Yeah.
There's good money in those things. Or another one is building roads. I was just looking at somebody who put a contract out for roads, and I was like, oh man, maybe I should look into that. No, don't.
The shiny object.
Because everything makes money.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
There's so many ways to make money. But for investing, I think it's important to do what you know.
For sure. Yeah.
And the stock market.
I'm trying to learn more like the commercial side too now. And that's like what I'm trying to do that your father-in-law did. I was like, okay, I know real estate. Let's apply this to different aspects. But that shiny object syndrome is real. Like that's probably where I've lost all my money too. It's just like stepping outside of my realm of expertise, and
I think we all do that.
Yeah, listening to a story and then I regret it.
But James, he did it.
Yeah.
And look at him. He's an idiot.
Exactly. Oh, gosh. Well, Curtis, I've learned a ton from you already in this conversation.
That's been fun.
I'm excited to keep these conversations going. But thank you for jumping on. I mean it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to say one last thing, though.
Yes, I love
it. With kids and home, wife, and work, right? There's a simple line that I think works to help improve those relationships. Super simple. Instead of being broad, when you talk to somebody or talk to your kids or talk to your spouse or talk to somebody at work, hey, tell me something good that happened in your day to day. Narrowed it down into something very specific, but also it's going to spin light in a good way, even if they're in a bad mood, right? Tell me the best part about your day to day, something recent. And you'll be surprised on how that relationship moves forward, even if it's networking or whatnot, right? Being very specific on a positive outspin, and you'll see what happens. It's kind of cool.
I like that.
So tell me something great about your day.
Okay. Even in the networking space.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, when you make it, best book I've ever read. If you haven't read it yet, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yep. Yeah.
That's all it's about.
Because then it starts on a positive note, and then whether it's your kid, your wife, networking, I love it. And that reminds me of one more question I want to ask you, Curtis.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about like intention behind your relationship with your kids, right? Especially when you're going through the hell of a low in business or the crazy roller coaster that entrepreneurship might bring. But we didn't talk much about like your wife, right? Like, what do you do to be intentional about that relationship when it feels like the business side is going to hell?
Mm-hmm. That's hard because that's what we're thinking about. And then when you're talking to your wife and she's saying something, you're not really listening. That's hard.
Retweet.
Yeah, right? And then you're like, did you hear that? Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. But it doesn't even matter because I'm so stressed about this other thing. I think the biggest thing is to, number one, express like, hey, I've got this really big thing going on and I need to set it aside, or hey, this is what's happening right. Like, hey, Carrie, I had a really hard day at work today. I don't need you to try to fix it. I just need to say it to you so that we're both, so it's out there, so that you know that I'm feeling this way. And then let's talk about whatever else. Let's build this relationship. But I need to let you, I'm coming into this room and right now this is how I'm feeling. If you don't know this, if you don't know the circumstance that I'm in, then we're not going to be able to get good actions. Circumstance, feeling, thoughts, feelings, actions. We're not going to get there. So here's where I'm at, and be honest with them. Hey, here's where I'm at. I had a, whatever it might be. I'm having a problem right now looking at porn. I'm having a problem right now with my boss. He's yelling at me all the time. I'm having a hard time right now because I've invested all this money into a real estate deal and I don't think we're going to sell it, or we're going to have to sell it for way under value, and then we're going to lose a lot of money. And with the next, I don't know how we're going to make future house payments. Oh, okay. But I don't need I want you to know where I'm at. We don't need to solve this in order for us to move forward. Because oftentimes I would tell Carrie something and then she'd try to save it. I'm like, oh my gosh. No.
Yeah.
And then I just get more mad. I'm like, well, okay, well, here's why this happened, because of this and this and this. And then they don't like whoever it is.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, they're mad at that other person too. They don't need to be mad at somebody else. That's not even in their world, right? They need to take care of us. Or I didn't say that wrong. The person that you're with, whether that's your wife, a friend, or whoever, they're there for you. They're not there for somebody else who's not in the room. Right. So
I like it.
That's what I'd say.
That's powerful. You're a good dude.
Yeah, ditto. I think feel the same way about you, Tanner.
I appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on, and hopefully this is the first of many.